there's your front row. It looks like we've got Fabricius on the left and Parkinson on the right. So they're going to be heading out onto track in a few moments' time. There is your grid on the screen. It is Oliver Fabricius on pole position, Isaac Parkinson alongside Lizzie Mentier and Melissa Adrian on row 2, Harry Holland and Jack Burgess on row 3. Row 4, Lucas Blanford and Lewis Goff, Addison Smith and Ben Adrian complete the top 10 in front of Jared Fox-Whiteley and Ben Horner. Callum Foster will start 13th and Leon Barlow in 14th. So row 4 is where we need to be looking here. Blanford and Goff, the top 2 in the second heat. They crossed the line with Goff in front of Blanford, but a penalty applied to Lewis Goff dropped him all the way down to 8th place in the standings. Blanford would go on then to take victory, having crossed the line in second place. They will go off side by side then in heat number 4. And heat number 3, they go off the 4th row. And after that, we're going to have 3 more heats. We've got Micromax Heat 3, Honda Cadet Heat 4, and Junior Rotax Heat 3. To complete our heats, then we're going to go to the Honda Cadet B final for those drivers that haven't finished inside the top 20 in points. And then we'll go through all of our other finals, all the way through then to the end of the day when we finish with our Honda Cadet A final. Will be a 30-kart race. The top 20 that have automatically gone through, and then the top 10 from that B final. Drivers then making their way down the hill. Looks like we are once again missing the 50 of Lizzie Mentier, who didn't take part in heat number 2. Two laps, remember, for our rolling up in our minis and our juniors. They've tried to get their feet in their tyres. We've been only having 1 rolling up laps for our Micromax, but they are running a different and slightly softer compounded tyre, so they don't need 2 laps to get the temperature into their tyres. We're going to have to close this one up a little bit because Fabricius and Parkinson are well down the road there in 1st and 2nd respectively. They'll come through on the front row. Then it's going to be everybody else into the positions behind. Remember, we're looking for that yellow acceleration line. That's where the leader, the pole sitter, is allowed to apply the throttle. That's why they're all nice and tight now as they come down the hill towards the final corner here at GYG. They're going at a fairly good speed. And we'll see whether it looks like we could potentially have a false start on that one. We are going to go again. That's why the marshal held it out, and they'll be met as well by another flag further up the hill here at post number 2 at the top of the hill, and there's another one further down. Now, if you can see a green flag with a yellow chevron on it, that's the false start flag. That just lets all of our drivers know that they are not to be racing. They're to slow back down to the half pace and reform into their grid positions from where they were. Oliver Fabricius has dropped right back here, and he's going to have to drive back into position, but that's because he was going all the way around the outside of that carousel corner. So as everybody now will concertina back up again, they're going to be met with that yellow flag and told to slow down. The pace was a little bit quick on the last time round, in my opinion, hence why I don't think that the starter was happy with them to be going, and they're going to have to settle themselves up. It is hard when you're on the outside to get going because you are going a lot further around the outside, and it looks like we are away this time, although no time has started at the top of the screen. We are away and racing there here in our mini max class, and it's Fabricius leading the way then from Parkinson. Looks like Fox-Whiteley's wide on the outside, may have dropped back a few places. Melissa Adrian then up into 3rd place, Blanford in 4th. Looks like then it could be Horner in 5th place, but we'll confirm in a few moments if we can see a 12. Now it's Harry Holland in the 77 running in 5th place. So Fabricius out at the front, Parkinson holding on to 2nd place with Melissa Adrian in 3rd, and then move down the inside from Lucas Blanford on Melissa Adrian into the downhill section. And over the line they come then at the end of the first lap. Fabricius leading away from Parkinson, then Blanford, Adrian in third place, Goff, Holland, Smith, Adrian, Horner and Barlow, but then there's a move up the inside from Lucas Blanford, and he is up into second place. Melissa Adrian comes through as well, as does Lewis Goff, up into fourth place. Down the hill they come then, into the double apex left of the carousel. Looks like Addison Smith has moved them right onto the back of Harry Holland. No, sorry, Isaac Parkinson, so he's come through as well. That puts him up into sixth place. Down the hill they come then, and Lewis Goff is through on Melissa Adrian, a carbon copy of the move that Blanford used on the previous lap. Into the over they come then for another lap in, and Blanford is right behind Fabricius as they make the move up the hill, and Blanford is to the inside of the 90 of Oliver Fabricius and is through by the time they get to the right-hander at the top of the hill, and Goff is going to follow through as well. So the top two from the second heat, and now the top two in the third heat, still with 6 minutes remaining. And that one, remember in heat 2, that was decided in the steward's office rather than on the track, as Goff came over the line in front of Blanford. At the moment it's Blanford in front of Goff as Addison Smith gets to the inside of Ben Adrian and Melissa Adrian, and that's going to move him through into fourth place. The 15 of Smith flying, and he tries to get them down the inside of Fabricius. He's right in the slipstream, and Fabricius moves over to the side, and Smith is going to come through, and he might not be the only one to come through as they head towards Spoon Corner, because it looked like Ben Adrian was trying to get down the inside as well, but Fabricius holds on to fourth place. Down the hill they come then with Smith in third, Fabricius fourth, Ben Adrian in front of Melissa Adrian. Then it looks like Isaac Parkinson and Ben Horner with Jared Fox-Whiteley right on the back. Now up into ninth place. Left and right down the hill. Cart's going light down that double apex right of Devil's Elbow. Over start finish for another lap. 4 in. Blanford leading by 0.2 of a second from Lewis Goff, and Lewis Goff is right in the slipstream of Lucas Blanford as they head up towards Spoon Corner. Who's going to reappear in the lead? It's still Blanford at the top of the hill as they head down now, with Addison Smith starting to move away from Oliver Fabricius into third place. A comfortable one as it is. There he is in the black cart. The remaining battle for all the way back from Fabricius goes all the way back down to Fox-Whiteley, and Barlow and Holland are not too far back either. They're coming into the mix as this battle slows each other up with every single corner. Everybody trying to get alongside each other. Half race distance in terms of time. We've still got that one lap to add, as well as Lewis Goff gets in the slipstream, and he's through by the time they get to the top of the hill on Lucas Blanford, and then defends to the inside. Lewis Goff in the 4 then. Now your new race leader, Smith in third, Fabricius fourth. Then it's a double Adrian with Ben in front of Melissa by the look of it. We'll confirm that as they come through. We're looking for the blue. It looks like, in fact, it could still be Melissa in front of Ben. Lewis Goff down the hill they come then. Across the line, and officially, at least in terms of timing, take the lead, but that move was done on this straight on the previous lap. Now it's going to be Blanford's turn to benefit from the potential slipstream as they make their way up the hill and round the sweeping right towards the heavy braking zone into Spoon Corner at the top of the hill before the cutback left. Down the hill they go. Close enough potentially for Blanford to put a move in, but Goff comes across half a cart width, parks the number 4 machine well enough to stave off any possible attack. Down the hill they'll come then, round the right into this left-hander, this tight left. This is Compression Corner, then into the right-hander of the Devil's Elbow. There you see the cart's just dropping away, and then it's the run into that final corner. Personal best for Ben Adrian, but he has been jumped by Jared Fox-Whiteley. That puts Fox-Whiteley back up into 6th place, having had to come through from towards the back and a poor opening lap, but he's got down the inside. Melissa Adrian finds a way past Fabricius, forces a way past Fabricius, in fact, at the top of the hill. Let's see who appears at the front. Looks like Fox-Whiteley could have potentially dropped one there, but he's come all the way around the outside of Ben Adrian with a good opportunistic move from the 22 as Adrian had to go tight as he was forced into that corner. Then Fox Whiteley comes all the way around the outside. They're still nose to tail all the way down from Melissa Adrian, now in 4th place with Oliver Fabricius in 5th. Then it's going to be all change in the background with Fox Whiteley back up into 6th, having dropped a place behind Ben Adrian. Now he's back in front, but everybody in 2s all the way up the hill there, and Fabricius is back down the inside of Melissa Adrian as they head over the hill, and the gap is also filled by Jared Fox Whiteley. And Melissa Adrian will drop from 4th down into 6th. Fox Whiteley is up then as we see Addison Smith in 3rd place coming through. The gap between the 2 leaders still 0.2 of a second. It's been fairly consistent throughout most of this race. You can see them there in this camera shot right down at the bottom of the hill. Goff still leading the way from Blanford, with Smith now in a comfortable 3rd. He's got a gap of a second to this battle behind, which now sees Fabricius back up into 4th place, Fox Whiteley into 5th. Melissa Adrian drops to 6th. Leon Barlow coming through and inserting himself into 7th place. 1 minute and 10 seconds remaining. We're still going to have 3 laps then in this Minimax 3rd heat as Goff has a look over his shoulder, and as soon as his head is forward, Blanford is down the inside into the carousel. Good move there from Blanford. As soon as he knew that Goff had a look, and as soon as Goff was facing forward, he was hard on the brakes and back down the inside. So the 59 now leading the 4 as they come down the hill towards the final corner with 1 minute remaining. Time actually goes to 35. He's going to get 1 more lap before the time elapses. The run now up that hill sees Lewis Goff right into the rear of Lucas Blanford. Hard on the brakes into Spoon at the top of the hill. Comes back down the hill into the carousel corner. The corner that Blanford got through on the previous lap. 24 seconds remaining. They're going to race around now to see whether they can beat the clock down to 0. They might do it actually. The lap time's around about 42 seconds. Means that it could be quite tight as they make their way down the hill towards this final corner. Through they come. Last lap board is out then in our Minimax class, and Lewis Goff closing right in on the back of Lucas Blanford. Blanford goes tight to the inside. Where's Goff going to go on this one? Blanford once again tight. Goff's going to have to try and think of something new here as they head towards the final corner, and Blanford goes to the inside, much tighter than normal. Almost white lines it down the inside into that bottom cut down the hill into the bottom corner. Goff chopping and changing side by side, and Goff's going to try and get to the inside. Gets the run on Lucas Blanford, and Lewis Goff is through in the final complexes of corners. He's managed to make something out of absolutely nothing into the final corner. Lewis Goff wins heat number 3 in Minimax from Lucas Blanford. Addison Smith in 3rd place. Jared Fox Whiteley crosses the line in 4th in front of Melissa Adrian, Oliver Fabricius and Leon Barlow dropping all the way down the order on the final lap. Not sure what's happened to him, but he's going to cross the line there. Arms off the wheel, so quite clearly not happy, but he's down into 13th place for Leon Barlow.